Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to mobility with a lacrosse ball. You're gonna need a lacrosse ball or any sort of trigger point mobility tool. So a tennis ball, your dog's ball, anything that you can come up with that's circular. Today we're gonna be focusing on hips. We're gonna work through the glutes and we're gonna work through shoulders and upper back. So first we're gonna get through the glutes. I like to just start warming everything up before we even mess around with the ball. It's really important to be a little bit warm. So whether or not you just finished class or you're just hopping into this as a recovery day, I think it's important to get started here, okay? So we're just gonna get started in this butterfly position. We're just gonna rock from side to side, just kind of start to get those glutes moving. I'll take like a little forward fold here to get in throughout that lower back as well. Just kind of start to straighten everything out. Getting through those hips. Next thing we're gonna take is a figure four. So one leg comes up, you're gonna cross it over, bring the front foot up. I'm already sore, so this is gonna be fun. And we can take a little kneeling. So just from here, this position, you're just gonna drop that foot down and you can sit up nice and tight. And we'll add a little twist there. Again, to open up throughout the shoulders a bit and do that upper back as well. So taking that big twist. And we'll unravel, head back to the center, and we'll switch it on out. One leg comes in, cross it over, lift through the chest, bring that front foot up. We'll start in that figure four position, maybe rolling out the ankle a little bit. Again, we'll get out throughout the glutes and the hips. Taking this foot, you're gonna go ahead and drop it down to the side, lift through the chest nice and tall. In that seated position, we'll take that rotation. And I like to hold this for about 2 to 3 breaths, and every time that you're exhaling, make sure that you're focusing on deepening your stretch. So inhale, you're creating space. Exhale, you just go a little deeper. The more we can connect with our breath, the better, especially doing trigger point work. It's important to breathe and not hold in any of the moans and groans, because that's just undoing all the work that you're doing if you're holding that in. So just get ready to let that stuff go. All right, let's hop straight to it. Okay, we're gonna get started with our lacrosse ball. We're gonna be working through the side bodies, or we'll start on our stomachs first, okay? So we'll get in throughout the hip flexors and then we'll wrap around to the outsides of the glutes. We'll work through all on the right side and then we'll switch it on out to the left. So starting here on the right, okay, if I'm in this half kneeling position, I'm gonna start up here at my hip flexor, that point that's nice and tight. If you're just like on the center of your quad, you come all the way up, should be right there. You're gonna come down onto your stomach and you're gonna take your left knee out to the side, like it's hanging off the bed or something like that. And from here, actually I'm probably gonna turn to the side so you guys can see a little bit more. Okay, so coming down onto your stomach, knees open up to the side. Okay, you can see that I'm elevated here on the ball, and I'm gonna add just like a hip motion. Okay, so you're gonna let your glutes go, and then squeeze your glutes together. Let them go, and squeeze. Okay, so you can notice that instead of us having the ball physically rolling, we're just utilizing our muscles and the pressure of the ground to move the ball. Okay, this allows us to take some time to get into some of those deeper knots. Shooting those hips from one side to the next. Excellent job, guys. We'll take about 2 or 3 more breaths here. If you'd like to come all the way down, obviously the closer we are to gravity, the closer we are to the ground, the more gravity is working. So adding intensity and pressure. Excellent work, guys. We'll go ahead and move that ball just about 2 inches or so away from the body. Okay, so we're coming more to the outsides of the hip. All right, and same motion. So you know your body best. So you're really just gonna be able to find your own point where you feel there's a lot of tension. And you'll know when you're in a good spot. You will know. So kind of turning that bottom leg as well, sort of internally rotating. So that way we can get into the outsides of the hip. Again, keeping it with that same hip thrusting motion. That's where it's gonna add the pressure. Good, we'll take 1 or 2 more deep breaths here. Maybe a little bit of forward and back action as well. So lifting up on that toe. You can push it forward and a little bit back. Just very small motions here as I go back and forth. So we got the side to side action going with the hip thrust, and now the up and down. But again, we're not really trying to roll the ball. We're just moving our muscles on top of it to help it move. Maybe we add a whole circle. We'll take about another breath or two. And then we'll work to the outsides of the hips. So let's come all the way up to a seated position. We're going to come down to our side body. Okay, getting in through more of the glutes now. Okay, we're gonna get started on the piriformis. All right, so it's the really the smallest muscle in your glute, and it's often the flattest part of your glute. So if you're able to look at yourself in the mirror, even just feel your glutes, you'll feel that there's kind of a flat area. That's a really tough muscle to build, but it's also often very tight. So we're gonna come down once you find that space, which should be right about here. We're gonna come down into our side bodies, and you'll know that you're feeling on it. Woo. Okay, we're gonna get started in this kind of beach babe pose, if you will. And this is gonna be level 1. We're just gonna stay here. If you're already feeling a lot of pressure, I just want you to breathe through it, moan and groan, let it go. Okay, but if you're ready to level it up a little bit, we can come down by straightening out those legs. Woo. This side is going to be easier. My other side is way harder. So if you're ready to bump it up a little bit, you're going to take that top leg and you can open up like tree pose. So again, the pressure is still there. I'm not moving at all yet. If you'd like to come down and support your head, that's also an option. Woo! Oh, baby. Okay, and as I'm here in this position, I am also feeling this kind of loosening up my lower back. A lot of the times our tight glutes are a reason for a tight lower back as well. So just some things that it's okay if you're feeling. Okay, if you're ready to bump it up a little bit, which I'm gonna come back up to this, to the elbow. Okay, if you're ready to add some motion, you're just gonna flex that foot, and your bottom leg, so our right leg is gonna be pulsing up and lowering back down, breathing through it. Okay, you can take 1 or 2 here, and again, if it's not happening for you today, it's just not happening, so no need to push it. No need to push it. Ooh, baby. Getting it moving. We'll take about 1 or 2 more here. Excellent, excellent work. And we'll go ahead and release. Well done, guys. Okay, coming up to that side body, we're just gonna go ahead and loop it down a little bit. So instead of being up here at the piriformis, we're just gonna come down to more of that medial. Oh boy. And we're starting in that same positioning. So if I'm turning to the side here, okay, it's just a little bit lower. Okay, same modifications are taken. So A, right, we start here. B, you can straighten out those legs. I don't know that I have that in me today, so I'm not gonna demo it. C, you're gonna open it all the way up. Okay, but if you'd like to add some motion here, we can. Again, same thing with that hip thrust. So strong core, we shoot those glutes forward, and then we release them back. Shoot them forward, a little pelvic tilt. Small motions here. And maybe we take a little hip circle from side to side, right? You can kind of lean into it. You'll know what your body needs to take. You can't really do it wrong. From side to side here. Forward and back. Or maybe you're taking those more challenging motions by straightening out those legs. It's really whatever you need to take. We'll take about another second here or so. And that's great. Well done, guys. All right. Moving to our back now. We'll just get to our final space on the glutes. Okay, just here at the very base of the glute, we're going to come into a seated position. Legs will be up straight. Literally, I'm just sitting on the ball. Okay, so again, you can't really go wrong, but kind of test it out, see if there's a spot that needs it the best. Okay, I'm going to help support here with my left leg, keeping it straight, and then I'm going to activate my right quad, flexing throughout my foot. I'm just going to lift and lower my leg. Okay, we'll take it about 3 or 4 more in this one space, and then we're going to move the ball. So if it's not in a good space, let's move it. Maybe up, maybe down. Really, again, you can't really go wrong here. We could spend all day on your glutes. All right, maybe one more space. Flexing that foot, activating and letting it go. 2 and 1. Well done, guys. We're gonna do that same thing on the other side. So getting started with that lacrosse ball, coming down onto our stomach. We're starting at the hip flexor. So here up at the top, come on down. I can turn to the side again so that we all can see. Okay, and then left or right knee is gonna be out, to the side, just like you are letting it hang off the bed. Okay, we'll get started with those hip motions. So pushing it forward and letting it go back. Maybe you melt your forehead to the ground. Maybe just take a second for you. I love the song. Awesome job, guys. Breathing through it. Again, if you've got moans or groans, make sure that you're letting it go. Okay, if you're just holding it in, it's counterproductive to the work that we're trying to do. So squeezing those glutes over the ball and letting it go. We'll take that one more space. Okay, moving it all the way a little bit out towards the side. Last time we're gonna be on this side. And feel free to, pause the video if you need more, take more, do you? We're just trying to show you some techniques, show you some movements that you can utilize. And then, once we know how to do this, you're able to incorporate this into your daily life. So as we're quarantined and we're sitting at home watching TV or watching all the Wacos in one sitting, get on the floor and grab your lacrosse ball and let's get this thing done. Your body will thank you. Good, we'll take 1 or 2 more here and then we're gonna move to that piriformis. Awesome job, guys. All right, let's flip it on over. Okay, come in again to our piriformis here. We're coming to the glutes. We're gonna get started in that beach babe pose. Woo, the flattest part of the glute, most likely. Okay, this one's rough, all right? Obviously, one side is gonna be better than the other. This side is way worse for me. So I will slowly back into our movements, but if I were doing this at home, I would probably just stay here for maybe 2 minutes or so, just breathing through it because I'm having a hard time. This is very challenging for me, this side. And that just tells me a little bit about my body. So if you're ready for it, you're gonna straighten out your legs. Yep, like that, well done. Okay, again, trying to melt into the ball a little bit. Do not tense up. The idea is to let that go. You can open up that top leg like a tree. Ooh, baby. And then if you're ready for some motion, you can lift that leg up, flex throughout the foot, strong activation, and then let it go. Great, you're on your own for that. Enjoy, okay. All right, we'll take about another 2 or 3 breaths here. If you would like some movement, obviously you're welcome to take it. Hips and glutes, there's a lot of tightness here. Oh, I could stay all day in these. Awesome job, guys. We'll go ahead and move it. All right, coming down a little bit lower. We're hitting that second spot. So again, starting in this space. You're welcome to take that motion, kind of moving from our hips from side to side, or take any one of the variations that have been explained. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that hip rock, maybe add a little bit of circles. And we're gonna try to fly through this final space. Again, I encourage you to pause the video if you need to, take what you need. Rolling around. You can't really go wrong in the glute area, especially there's a lot of junk in the trunk. We gotta get that stuff out, lots of knots there. That's excellent work, guys. Okay, coming down to our back, going down to the very fleshy part. We're gonna go 3 different spots. We're just coming onto our seated position. You're gonna switch knees, so your right knee should be up. I'm just sitting on the lacrosse ball here. Okay, flexing the foot. I'm gonna lift and lower. You can add a little hip circle if you'd like. Lift lower, lift lower. Woo, and then I'm gonna move it one more time. Good, getting through those glutes. And that's that. All right, hips and glutes, feeling good. Okay, we're moving on to our back. We're gonna just work through probably, 3 spots on each side. We're just gonna get started on our back. So the main goal here is to get through a lot of the knots into the upper back that causes our shoulders to be very tight. It's normally because, right, we've been rounding through, so there's lots of knots because our muscles are doing their best that they can to hold us up all day as we're rounding forward, texting, driving, doing the things. So we've got a lot of knots there. We've also got a lot of stress points, right? The weight of the world we hold on our shoulders, and our emotions we hold in our hips. So that's really what we're trying to let go of today. Okay, moving to the weight of the world, we are headed to our back. So the most important thing to start with is this chicken wing position. You're just gonna need to find out where your shoulder blade is. So I'm gonna show you a chicken wing, okay? You're gonna reach for your shoulder blade. You can feel that little, as it pops out a little bit, there's kind of an area that is almost perfect to fit a ball. Okay, so we're gonna do this, but on the back. So you need to be able to get the lacrosse ball underneath. So now that you know where it is, you come on down to your back. You're gonna reach, put it underneath, and you're just gonna have to move your body. And I like to do like maybe a few arm circles until I find that it's in the correct position. Okay, you'll know it should not be on a bone, but again, it should be right underneath right underneath that shoulder blade, the very base. Okay, so from here, 3 or 4 breaths for sure before we add any kind of motion. Already, like I can feel stabbing. That's like, I can feel it all the way up throughout my shoulders. That's wrapping around almost to the front of my deltoid. So how interesting it is that our body is connected in that way. Okay, from here, if you're ready for those arm motions, you're gonna take that right arm, so it's right underneath my right side. I'm gonna take my right arm up towards my ear. And then big exhale as you bring it back down to your side body. Ooh, all right, we'll take about 2 or 3 more here. Breathing through it as you go. Wow, I really needed this. This is terrible. It's been a while. Excellent work. And I also can like feel it up a little bit in my traps and in my eye almost, right? Like it's like a pressure point of strength. I know that is. This is a good one for me. Okay, guys, we're moving on to our next motion. This time we're gonna open up like a T. So that right arm is gonna open up like a T. Try to reach for the ground. And then big exhales, you cross all the way across. It's gonna help us get a little bit deeper into that shoulder blade. Oh my golly. Strong chest opener. And then big close. Awesome job, team. Make sure you're breathing. Again, connecting with your breath is important. We'll take about 1 or 2 more here. And we'll finish it out with this right arm is gonna come all the way up by my ear. I'm gonna bend my elbow into the side body, reach it all the way down. Oh, it rolls over a really good spot there. Awesome job, guys. We'll take a few lat pull downs. Reaching up. Woo, and then big pull. Good, just about 1 more here. Excellent work. All right, team, we're gonna move it up. So it was just at the very base of my shoulder blade. Now I'm just gonna move it up about 1 inch or 2. Okay, so now instead of here at the very base, I'm gonna move up. Okay, head down. Let's start with pressure. And you could literally hit, at least 5 different spots here on this upper back. Okay, and you're gonna go through those same arm motions. So right arm goes up towards the sky, and you'll come back down. And you'll notice that there's gonna be a limitation in your range of motion. It's totally normal. But it also means that our chests are probably pretty tight. So next time, perhaps we'll work through chest. Let's go arm out to a T and then big crossover. Get some time to do our other side. Another motion that I like to do is an elbow circle. So after our lat pull downs, we'll talk about that. Arm goes up and overhead. Big pull to the side body. So I think 3 is at least good because then we can work through the very base of the shoulder blades, then in that medial part, and then all the way up near the traps is going to be our last space. Okay, so this next motion is going to be an elbow circle. Ooh, that gets it good. That gets it good. So maybe 1 or 2 more of those, and we're gonna move up to the traps. All right, let's do it to it. Okay, coming up. I'm not all the way up on top of the traps, but I'm just gonna be right below where you can still keep the pressure of the floor on here. If you're really looking to get into the traps, you're gonna need some sort of elevation, which you can also do like a yoga block or something like that, and just go up to the very top. But again, you're gonna need an angle there, so we're just gonna go below. It'll still get us pretty good. You should be able to feel it kind of almost up in that neck as well. And those same arm motions, this one's gonna be the best one, that reaching that arm up and overhead and lowering it back down. Again, breathing through it, nice and slow. Maybe you hang out in one spot. This is a good spot to hang out. Good, we'll take that T out and across. Ooh, angles, oh, getcha. Especially as we open up and start the tension. We'll take those lat pulls. Elbow comes out to the outside. And then our elbow circles. Go ahead and add that in. And again, you're welcome to stay here as long as possible. It's something you can kind of incorporate into your life, but we're just gonna make this quick. Excellent work, guys. All right, right side, check. Moving on to the left. Okay, I'll flip around so that way you guys are good to go. But again, checking in with the chicken wing. It should be not on your bone at all, but underneath. Underneath is the goal. Okay, so as I'm reaching back and behind, it's gonna live here at the very base. Okay, so laying on my back, I'll come down. I like to kind of open up to one side. That's helpful to get it underneath there. Oh boy. And then when you find it, you should be good to go. I'm just gonna start here with pressure, but if you're ready to move that arm up and down, go for it. Again, this should not feel like it's on your bones at all. So please make sure that it is actually underneath your shoulder blade. You'll know when it's there. You should almost like sink into it instead of being like super elevated on one side. Like if it was on the bone, it would look like this. Do you see how my shoulder is up? And then if I'm actually sinking into it, I know that it's underneath. Ooh, it's gonna be there. Okay, so we're up and overhead. Oh my gosh, this side is so bad. My whole left side is trash. Oh, it's okay. We all have one side that's better than the other. Okay, forward and back, and then we can take your T. It kind of feels like you're getting stabbed a little bit. It's okay. Awesome job, guys. And we'll take our final one, which is gonna be that lat pull down. So arm up goes up by the ear. If I can even get it there, oh my golly, and then elbow to the side, body big pull down. Big breathing. Awesome work, guys. We'll take 1 or 2 more here. Since you already know the motions, you guys should be kind of free to go on your own, but I'm gonna work through kind of speed round on this side to get you guys done. So if you're ready to move it all the way up, let's go. Okay, we're moving from the very base of our shoulder blade up to our neck spot, so just about an inch or 2 above. Okay, so before we were at the base, now we're gonna go up just about 2 inches, and we'll bring it all the way down. Okay, I like this spot better. That base one was tough. All right, starting it out with that arm motion up and down. Awesome job, guys. And we'll take our arm out to the side. We'll work through that T motion. This is a good one for your chest as well. You can start to feel it as you reach out to the side. My chest right now is pulling. So again, I know that my chest, especially on my left side, is challengingly tight. But it's just what it is. So we're working through it together, y'all. Arm goes up and overhead. Let's finish it out with those lat pull downs or maybe arm circles, those elbow circles. That's really challenging for me, but I'm here with you working it through. And again, if these motions are way too challenging, just pressure will do, right? You don't have to move it. Pressure will do. All right, guys, moving to wrap this thing up. Okay, you're gonna bring it up again, just right here, above, about 2 inches above where we just were. Okay, starting it out with pressure, maybe 1 or 2 breaths there, and then we can get, oh, big cracks. Did you hear that? Oh yeah, lots of cracking going on here. Well, I've broken my arm 5 times. So I had 2 broken arms on my right and 3 on my left, all before the age of 12. I know. So I've got some funky things going on. All right, guys, we'll go to big cross out to the side. My arms are also like hyperextended, my elbows, like that. I'm a fun character. Everybody is, though. Everyone's got something going on. We'll take those lat pull downs to finish things out, maybe some elbow circles. And yeah, you guys just learned some new tools, some new mobility tools to add to your quarantine routine. You guys should be good to go. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, my name is Kathryn. If you do need a playlist or some, some good chill vibes to help you with set your tone, set your mood, all of my playlists are up on Spotify under Kathryn Morgan Fitness. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all soon.